Have you ever stood at the edge of the ocean? I mean, right at the waterline, where the foam licks at your feet. You look out at that vast, endless horizon, and for a moment, you feel two things simultaneously. How incredibly small you are, and yet how infinite the possibilities seem. It's exhilarating, and it's terrifying. Now, imagine you're at the other end of that journey. You're not looking forward at the horizon anymore. You're looking back at the wake your ship has left behind. The path is set, the choices are made, the story is written. What would you see? A bold, purposeful line cutting through the waves, heading toward a destination you chose? Or a series of meandering, hesitant circles, drifting wherever the current took you? For decades, a palliative care nurse named Bronnie Ware sat with people during their final 11 weeks of life. She listened. She recorded their most common, most painful regrets. And the number one regret she heard over and over again was this: I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. That statement is a gut punch. It's the collective sigh of the dying, a warning from the future. Today, we are not going to talk about productivity hacks, side hustles, or optimizing your morning routine. Today, we are going to have a different conversation. We are going to mine the most honest, no-nonsense, and often brutally direct wisdom from those who are looking back from the edge. This is about intentional living, not as a buzzword, but as the ultimate antidote to a deathbed filled with what-ifs. This is about how to live from those who can no longer afford to lie to themselves. To understand this wisdom, we first have to understand why we drift in the first place. Why do so many people, with the best of intentions, end up on a path that feels foreign to them? It's because we are all born into a world that hands us a map. Let's call it the default map. This map is drawn by our parents, our teachers, our culture, and the relentless engine of social media. It has clear, well-trodden paths. Go to school, get a safe, respectable job, buy a house, get the car, get married, have 2.5 kids, retire at 65, then die. The path is so clear, so advertised, that we often start walking it without ever asking a simple, terrifying question. Is this my map? We confuse the map for the territory. We assume that because this path exists and is celebrated, it must be the right one for us. We are following a script written by a committee of ghosts from our past and noisy influencers in our present. The elderly, those who have reached the end of the default map, see this with painful clarity. They realize they spent their life climbing a ladder, only to get to the top and see that it was leaning against the wrong wall. This is where ancient philosophy, particularly Stoicism, offers a powerful lens. The Stoics, like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, were obsessed with this very idea. Seneca, in his Moral Letters, writes, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements, if it were all well invested." He's talking about intentionality. He's talking about trading the default map for what we can call the sovereign map. The sovereign map isn't handed to you. You have to survey the land yourself. You have to draw it with your own values as the compass, your own virtues as the landmarks, and your own definition of a meaningful life as the true north. The regret, "I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself," is the regret of someone who followed the default map their whole life. The wisdom we're about to explore is the instruction manual for drawing your own. So what does this wisdom actually sound like? It's not abstract. It's concrete, direct, and often uncomfortable. Let's break down the core lessons. Lesson 1. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. This was a regret from almost every single man Bronnie Ware cared for. They missed their children's youth. They missed the companionship of their partners. They were ghosts in their own homes, present in body but absent in spirit. Their minds always on the next deal, the next promotion, the next project. I remember talking to an old man named Arthur a few years ago. He was 87, a retired, very successful corporate lawyer. His house was beautiful, but it felt like a museum. He pointed to a framed photo of a boy on a bicycle. "My son, Mike. I was supposed to teach him how to ride that bike. I was in a partners meeting in another city. My wife sent me that photo. I missed it. I missed 1,000 moments like that. For what? A corner office that someone else now sits in? A plaque with my name on it gathering dust in a lobby?" His voice wasn't filled with anger. It was filled with a hollow, profound grief. The grief of traded moments. He had fallen for the great lie of the default map that your professional legacy is your ultimate legacy. He realized too late that his real legacy was the man his son became, and he was a footnote in that story. Lesson 2. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. This one seems simple, almost trivial, but it cuts deep. In the final weeks, people don't talk about their net worth. They talk about the warmth of connection. They grieve the friendships that evaporated from sheer neglect. Life, especially in the default map, gets busy. You move cities, you have kids, your circle shrinks from a vibrant network to sometimes just you and your immediate family. And we tell ourselves, it's fine, we'll reconnect someday. But someday is a sedative. It's a trap. The Stoics had a practice called memento mori, the remembrance of death. It sounds morbid, but its purpose was the opposite. It was to ignite life, to remind you that this conversation, this meal, this moment with a friend could be your last. Knowing that every goodbye could be the final one is what makes the hello so meaningful, so rich. Think about the last time you had a deep, laughing until you cry, totally present conversation with a true friend. Not a transactional networking chat, but a real soul-nourishing connection. When was it? For many of us, it's been too long. The elderly on their deathbeds aren't scrolling through their LinkedIn connections. They're holding faded photographs of old friends, wondering where they went. Lesson 3. I wish I had allowed myself to be happier. This is perhaps the most surprising regret. People realize at the end that happiness was a choice they were often too afraid to make. They confused happiness with comfort. They stayed in miserable situations, unfulfilling jobs, toxic relationships, soul-crushing routines, because it was familiar. It was the devil they knew. The default map promised security, and they traded their joy for it.
An old woman named Eleanor told me something I'll never forget. She said, "I spent my whole life waiting for the storm to pass, until I realized I was the storm. I was the one telling myself I wasn't good enough, that it was too risky, that I didn't deserve it. I was my own jailer." She had a chance at 45 to buy a small flower shop. It was her dream, but she was terrified of the financial risk, of what her practical-minded family would say. She didn't do it, and for the next 30 years, she drove past that shop, watching other people live her dream, feeding a quiet resentment that poisoned her from the inside. Happiness requires courage. It requires the courage to be vulnerable, to fail, to look foolish, to prioritize your own joy in a world that often rewards martyrdom and busyness. This can feel heavy. It can feel like a judgment from the future, but it doesn't have to be. It can be your liberation. It's a wake-up call, and the beautiful part is, you're awake. So what do we do with this? How do we start drawing our sovereign map today? Step 1. Conduct a life audit. This isn't a financial audit, it's a soul audit. Take a blank piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On one side, write the default map. List out the major aspects of your life: career, relationships, health, personal growth. Under each, write down the script you feel you're supposed to be following. I should be a manager by now. I should be married. I should want a big house. On the other side, write my sovereign map. And for each category, ask yourself, if I were guaranteed success and free from judgment, what would I truly want this part of my life to look like? Not what you should do, but what makes you feel alive, engaged, and at peace. The gap between these two columns is your field of action. It's where you need to find your courage. Step 2, practice negative visualization, or prima dita malorum. This is a powerful stoic exercise. For a few minutes each day, vividly imagine losing something you take for granted: your health, your job, your closest relationship. It sounds dark, but its purpose is profound. By consciously imagining the loss, you shatter the complacency of ownership. You wake up to the incredible gift that is your life right now. You stop taking your friends for granted. You savor the meal. You appreciate the simple ability to breathe easily. This practice doesn't make you pessimistic. It makes you intensely grateful and present, which is the bedrock of happiness. Step 3, schedule your priorities. Don't prioritize your schedule. You will never find time for what matters. You must command it. If friendship is a value, block out a Friendship Thursday every month in your calendar and treat it as unbreakable as a meeting with your CEO. If learning the guitar is on your sovereign map, schedule your 20 minutes of practice first thing in the morning, before the demands of the default map come crashing in. Your calendar is the primary tool for building your intentional life. What gets scheduled gets done. Step 4, define your eulogy, not your resume. This is a classic but essential exercise. Project yourself forward to the end of your life. What do you want people to say about you at your funeral? Not your professional accomplishments, but your character. He was kind and reliable. She was brave and brought us so much joy. He was a wonderful father and a loyal friend. Write that eulogy down. Now, work backwards. Are the choices you're making today moving you toward that eulogy? If you want to be remembered as adventurous, but you spend every weekend on the couch, you have a clear, immediate disconnect to address. The wisdom of the elderly is a form of time travel. It's a message from our future selves pleading with us to open our eyes now. They aren't telling us to quit our jobs and move to a beach tomorrow. They are telling us to stop living on autopilot, to question the default map, to make conscious choices, no matter how small, every single day that align with a deeper truth. The goal is not to avoid death. The goal is to arrive at death breathless, well used, and without the bitter taste of a major regret in your mouth. To arrive at the end of your life and say, I was the author of that story. It was messy and it was imperfect, but it was mine. You have a sovereign mind. You have the power to draw your own map. The advice from those at the finish line is simple. Start drawing today.